Honey Bonani. Minjani. What time is it? Why am I acting like... somebody said Gigi, not Lamayne. Somebody's name is Gigi, not Lamayne. Somebody just logged in. Sanbonan. I hope everyone is having a good whatever day it is today. I'm out in Turkey, Istanbul. I'm about to leave. Today's my last day. And wow, guys, it's been crazy for South Africa, hey? It's been absolutely crazy. I think... Hi, everyone joining us. I think the biggest thing... I wanted to get onto this live today. I'm sorry because I'm a little distracted. And it's crazy at the amount of people who are passing away, who are young, who are driven, who would have potentially become pioneers for whatever they're doing, people who are just amazing. I couldn't help but feel that, there are a lot of us living, but we're living without purpose, We're living without, we just want to wake up the next day and see the day through. I couldn't help but think about Uncle Shaw, think about Mpura, Ukilakau, everyone, and think about the fact that there's some people who wake up every day and we are just living, right? I'm sorry, guys. It's 40 degrees in Turkey. I am sweating. The aircon is on, but I'm still dying, okay? And I've been in a lot of friendships and relationships where I've just not been appreciated, where people will always make you second guess who you are. People always make you feel like you should be honored to be part of people's lives. And the biggest thing for me, I think, with having known Ukilakau personally is that he wasn't somebody who cared about that, and I think it resonated so much with his friends. Robot Boy was one of his homies. We'd always see them posting up their videos, dancing and having fun and just living their best lives. And I'm thinking, I wake up every day caring about what other people think of me. And that's what makes life count for me. That's what's important for me. The fact that I constantly feel unappreciated no matter what I do in people's lives. The fact that I'll never be enough. The fact that people don't see my efforts. The fact that I'm constantly reminded about my imperfections. These people shone beyond their imperfections. They were happy with their imperfections. They rejoiced not in the perfect picture or the perfect video. They rejoiced in their truth and going out there. And Mpura was the funniest person, making people laugh. His weird lives. And I'm sitting here and I'm thinking, as young black people, we've lost the plot. Legends were made because they didn't care. Legends were made because they didn't seek validation. Legends were made because they decided that they wanted to live. And living is not caring what somebody else is going to say. Living is simply just existing within your own light. I love how somebody said in the comments now, even if you didn't know them personally, it felt like you did. So with all these great minds, ascending into a greater space. I don't like using the word passed on because I feel like they have ascended. I think we all need to learn that we need to be greater than we were. Learn from their lives and how unapologetic these boys were. They went out. They did phenomenal. I'm not even talking about their music. That's undisputed. They did phenomenal shit, you know? Groundbreaking music, groundbreaking work. And we complain so much about life and what people think that we forget how it's just so beautiful to live. Every single Kilakau video we've come across, for me, the biggest thing that stands out is how happy and unapologetic he was. Like, it was just talent and smiles, and it almost felt as if he was giving us electricity. I remember him being part of the first Road to Gigi Gang show, and him coming out to Nazareth to perform and giving his time. He wasn't paid for it. He was simply giving back to a young girl from the south of, Johannesburg, who had this dream. I had this dream called the Gigi Gang show. And till this day, he had never come back to me and said, Siswami, I did A, B, C, D for you. But I'll tell you guys now, he probably shone better than a lot of people on that stage because he wasn't expecting to get anything back. So, and this is not to make you guys feel bad because I see the comments coming in. But it's to say, as young black people, I feel like we're playing ourselves. We're playing ourselves in the sense that I have never seen such young men who are so dedicated to the African culture, the culture of Mapiano, the culture of taking Mapiano to the world. And I do think that the Mapiano fraternity needs to do something amazing in their honor. And something that you guys may think is very small can be so big. It's important that you guys go out now and make songs. You understand? Even if hip hop joins you, even if gospel, whoever joins you. But it's so important to keep this light alive. For their sake, They were on the road when they passed, doing what they loved. It doesn't matter what transpired. For me, it's about the fact that a legacy must carry on, and they were part of a brighter legacy. Don't forget, Kilakau was on Kokot. Kilakau was that boy sitting on a bed, singing. Kilakau was the boy who was put in studio with Umbali to create a song and bring out a genre that the rest of the world now sits in awe and supposedly resonates with. But the fact is, it's ours as South Africans. And that's the least we owe to these boys. Let's start funds. Let's see what we can do for their families. But the biggest thing we can do right now is go out and download their music. Make them great. Make them beautiful. Remember them for all the content they gave us. Remember Mpura for all the laughs. There were 5 amazing gentlemen there, DJs as well, who were giving back to the art of being young black men showcasing to the world. And we've got artists, Nineni Kona Manj. It is our obligation, and I know it's difficult, and I've seen, videos of people crying, and I don't know why I feel like their deaths are simply the beginning of an ascension for the rest of you as Mapiano acts to go out and showcase more. Showcase more. The one thing about Kilakau is he loved being South African. You couldn't tell him anything. He gets to it and he's dancing and you meet him in the morning after a gig at a hotel, you meet him in the evening going to a gig. Always the same energy. And the energy is that I know God could have put me in any position, but he put me in this one. I'm Kilakau with a couple of hundreds of thousands of followers. And I am going to get on stage and I'm going to dance the life out of me, because it not only represents me, but young people like a Gigi, like a Siamtanda, like a Charisma, like a Sichaba, everybody on this live. So I know it's painful now, but although we couldn't give these people the proper props they deserved, they were going somewhere. Let's do that now, because they still exist amongst us. And I'd like to say to Lady Do, I know it's painful, but you hold a very special baton. You were able to work with. You were able to feel these people. You said it yourself that these people touched you in a way that nobody else touched you. This is not the end. This is simply the beginning. This is the beginning for you to shine harder than you've ever shined before in their names. I remember when Pro passed, I thought, you know what, there were so many people that I was tolerating because, you know, Pro was alive. There were so many people I sought to understand because he was alive. And it was because Pro had that kind of energy where it's like, hi, Chomi, we'll get through it. You know, this is somebody who most probably had his own issues going on, but he never seemed to even care because the issues of other people were bigger. And I don't know why the young men that passed, at least 2 of them that I knew personally, I get that feeling. So for what it's worth, I want to see my piano shine harder than it's ever shone before. I don't care if you're hip hop. I don't care if you're gospel. The conversations to be having right now is not who's jumping where, how, what. Let's keep them alive. Let's celebrate them. You know, I think about how, you know, they were putting on local brands. I think of how, you know, nobody will be able to do what Mpura does on paper. Nobody will be able to have the voice Killer Cow has. Nobody will be able to bring alive a crowd like that. But you're sitting here, whether you're a young person and you're behind a desk somewhere, or you're somebody who wants to start something of your own, take from them that they were unapologetic. It was about them putting South Africa on the map, but shining very hard. I love the fact that everything that was about them was South African. And you know it. If you felt anything right now in this country, it's the fact that Mapiano makes us feel South African. They are trying in other countries to do what we're doing, but they can never do it like us. And do you know why? Because of the legacies people like Hilakau, like Mpura have left. Gubhlungu, guys. You know, seeing Mam Connie put up those things about Uncle Shaw, and I sit there and I say, but this is legacy. Gubhlungu manje kodwa, it's such a celebration. When you look at these young people and you think the charts they were breaking and topping, the records they were breaking, the charts they were topping, how young they were. Some were even, Mpura got on, I think, way after he probably thought he would have ever gotten on. Just the energy. Go back to these people's Instagram pages and tell me you don't feel what I'm feeling. And the one thing you're feeling is that these were people who were proud of being South African. They were proud of being young men who come from the township. They loved to play in the dirt. And they could still sit and drink a Remy and drink a Henny. And I think that's what's important. Let's not be asking questions about how, where, who, but when Zagalani. The fact is they were going somewhere to go and represent and do what they did best. Let me tell you guys something about the South African entertainment industry. It's not what you guys think it is. People are broke. People are living fake lifestyles. If you are making it in South African music, you already need to be thinking of your next step. You already need to be diversifying yourself as a brand. People are not making money. Very few are. And the ones that are not relying solely on what they're doing. So, if you hear somebody like Mpura saying that he's going to build his mother a house, he was doing well, he was shining bright, and he was waking up every day in studio to do that. So the next time you go into to an event, and you buy a ticket, understand where that money is going to. It's so sad that somebody actually said to me the other day, after all this had happened, they were like, Gigi, do people know that artists are getting paid close to nothing to go to gigs? We are tired. We try to do 4 or 5 gigs. We are tired. We have to split the money in half. So a point where artists will charge something like 30,000, guys. You guys think it's a lot of money. They have to pay for the car they hired. They have to pay for the petrol. They have to pay for the DJ. They have to pay for the photographer. They have to pay for... Before you know it, upumango 2,000 or 3,000 if you're lucky. And this is the reality. I'm not talking for artists that are the lucky bunch. The ones that got on. And this is the few that are starting up. So the questions we should be asking are, how many gigs, would somebody have to do? Was this person tired? What are the psychological issues that artists face? What are some of the dynamics that are there in the industry? Guys. So the least we can get from our nation is legacy. Because money is out of the question. We're not making money. It's all a lie. Celebrities are liars. We lie. We put up nice pictures, make it look like we're making it. Mina, the money that sometimes I even get, is not directly from music. It's things that are related to my brand, but it's not directly from music. So when you see that person next time on stage, with the energy of Kilakau, of Mpura, don't be so quick to ridicule and start asking questions. What were they doing? Were they rushing to another gig? Were they drunk? Artists are going through the most out here. You guys may see us going in house and in jail. They get given those cars. Cars are not under people's names. Some people get endorsed by those vehicles. The ones that do have cars are the lucky bunch who manage to make it. But that's not everyone's story. Because there's always somebody wanting to use that artist and throwing them out as soon as they're done with that. I'll tell you something. Kilakau never waited for anyone to do anything for him. That's on my mother. He never waited for anyone. Anything he ever did for his legacy, he did. With a team of young, driven people from his hometown, people around him, he always managed to make a plan. The day he got sitting on that bed, the day we all saw that video of him freestyling with the cup in his hand. You guys remember that video? That is when his dream and his vision was born. And that was independence for me. The ability to get on something and make it great. And let me tell you, I know stories. Kilakau also got screwed over in the industry. I know. The people sitting with his songs, you know yourselves. You know yourselves. But that's a story for another day. The fact is he could get on stage unapologetically so and keep going. So you as a young person, next time you go to a gig, resonate with the story that the artist had. It's not about the promoter. It's the story, who you're feeding. Do you know that you could be building somebody's mother's house? A mother, why a flyama queen is trying to take them to school. That's what we can learn from this whole situation. I don't want to hear people asking who did what, where, how. It's not important. It's not important. The fact is, these young men went out. They were so good and so talented and so hardworking that there were other people who noticed that they came out and they created teams and they pushed as young South African people. That's the story we need to tell. I'm so happy today that I can sit here and say, you know what? The story of Amapiano can never be told if we do not speak of Mpura and Kilakau. So people like Vocalistic, people like Lady Do, Kamumpela, Enibanini, Pasta, Mapuritsa, Kamsa, hey, ngisho nama hip hop acts abasebenza sebenza imapiano. Ngithi this is bigger than us. Whether you believe it or not, Mapiano is bigger than all of us. So if you can contribute to that narrative in the name of saving these legendary names and uplifting them, let's do it. Let's not be too quick to already point out what happened with this and what that. Like I said, ascension. But looking at their contribution. And those 5 gentlemen who died contributed a lot. They were brothers, they were friends, they were young legends. Them and their people who were in their teams didn't wait for nobody. And I want you to understand that that could be your story tomorrow. So don't wait for anyone. Live in the spirit of Mpura. Yo, live in the spirits of Killer Cow. Of any artist you resonate with. Understand that you shouldn't wait. Go out and fight for whatever you need to fight for, because you never know when your last day will be. I am honored to have witnessed their careers, the growth. They had so much to offer. But if you look at it, being a pioneer, or one of the pioneers, one of the most spoken about names when it comes to a genre is enough. So let's celebrate them, guys. Let's celebrate them. I woke up today feeling like, why is it that, as young people, we complain so much? Myself included, you complain so much. South Africans don't appreciate me. Me, I'm a hardworking female rapper. I don't have the money to put, but I push. And I sit there and I'm like, but I'm not starving. There are people with real life problems. And I forget to smile on stage and enjoy myself because I'm so concerned with pinnacles I'd like to reach, to a point that it even shows. And there are people who'd go on stage and just live their best lives. When they speak to you, you can hear, I'm just living my best life, my sister. That's how I managed to do iconic shit. We're forgetting to live. We're forgetting to live. And I promised myself from the time this news broke till now that I will continue to look for better people around me. I will continue to do what I want to do. I will continue to live according to my rules. I will continue to believe in people who believe in me, because I deserve to be selfish in that way. You deserve to be selfish. Right? So, there's not much I want to say. My biggest thing right now is that let's keep these legacies alive, guys. That's the least we can do. That's the least we can do. Let's keep their legacies alive. These are amazing, amazing individuals, amazing artists. I was on Apple Music. I was on Spotify just going through their stuff, and I was just like, Amahita Mangad. Amahita Mangad. We need to celebrate. Long live to all of them. Let's keep their legacies alive. Let's support their friends, their relatives. But what we can learn from those gentlemen that makes me smile every time I think about it is they lived their best lives. No matter what the world threw at them, no matter how unfair things got, no matter how much recognition some of them didn't get, that wasn't important for them. What was important is that they were living their best lives. And I saw somebody earlier on saying, people mustn't cry. Okay, I understand. But where we can, let's assist, let's help. Let's make sure that, whatever needs to be done, needs to be done. It's not always the money, guys. Sometimes it's just moral support and energy and prayers. I'm so tired of Black people going through a dark time, and we're the ones who have bad things to say about each other, forgetting that there was so much more of the good. And I'm so upset that Black people tend to we don't appreciate ourselves, because we want to keep going and we want to keep proving to everyone that we can do this and do that. We even forget to live. We forget to breathe. We forget to smile and say, I did well today. And I'm going to say, for what it's worth, the life I've lived and everything I've been through, I've done well. And I hope you believe that too, whatever you're going through. Long live the boys, my piano to the world. This is the beginning, and there is a